The 2024 Summer Olympics are almost here, with athletes from all over the world assembling in Paris on their quest for gold. Today, we highlight first-time Olympian CJ Nickolas, Taekwondo's brightest young star.
I am going to win the gold medal at the Olympics. I'm walking away with a gold medal.
129, that's you, Moose!
As well as the history-making journey of four-time Olympic rower Meghan Musnicki.
I wonder if I could do this one more time.
These are the ones to watch.
Training for the Olympic rowing team is something you dedicate your whole life to. It's a life of calloused hands and aching muscles. It's thousands of lonely hours on the erg and countless early mornings on the water. All that hard work culminates this year here in Sarasota, Florida, where selection week for the women's Olympic rowing team begins. It's a place where you have to find focus and forget fatigue, hoping to get the chance to represent your country on the world's biggest stage.
Now legs to the deck, through the deck, break the deck.
I would know. I've been here before.
What I want you to think about is making sure that you're coordinated in the way that you move through the front with higher speed. All right, let's have a great morning.
At 41, Meghan Musnicki is attempting to make her fourth Olympic team, as well as her place in history as rowing's oldest Olympian. An improbable feat in a sport that's not for the faint of heart.
3 words to describe Meghan are grit.
Resilient comes to mind first.
Brave.
Tenacious.
Role model. Intense. In a good way, in a good way.
She is confident and she is determined.
When Moose is on a mission, that woman is unstoppable.
And yet Moose's extraordinary rowing mission began 20 years ago in the most ordinary way.
I was walking through the halls of the coach's office at St. Lawrence University, where I started my freshman year. I was going to talk to the basketball coach, and this person stuck their head out of a door and was like, hey, where are you going? Turns out that was the rowing coach, and he said, why don't you come try rowing? I had never heard of rowing before in my life, so I immediately kind of turned him down because I was like, no, I'm gonna play basketball. But when I went back to my dorm, I thought about it a little more and I was like, why not try something new, see if you like it. In college, I wasn't that great. I mean, I wasn't terrible, but I was a student athlete. I loved being part of a team. I loved racing with my friends. It was relatively low stress, and it was part of the whole experience. I finished my rowing career at Ithaca College, but there was one more thing that I wanted to do.
The 2K is the standardized physiological test by which all rowers are measured. An exercise in pain and endurance, Meghan set her sights on reaching her longtime college goal of 7 minutes and 10 seconds.
I decided to start training for an indoor rowing race in Boston, and sure enough, I went 7:09.9. I just squeaked under, and the assistant national team coach approached me and asked if I wanted to come try out for a national team boat this summer, and I thought, of course she asked me, like, I'm fast now, I've got what it takes. I didn't. I lasted maybe 3 full days before I was cut and sent home, but it gave me a taste of what it was like at that level. That was all that I needed to see, and I knew that that was what I wanted to do next.
Over the next 2 years, Meghan made multiple attempts to make the national team, but time and again came up short.
Famously, she got cut twice from the training center, and I love that story.
Ready for the hips here, Moose. You ready?
The national team coach, Tom Terhar, came up to her and was like, Meghan, I can't cut you again.
How many times she got knocked down and then came back and was essentially told, if you don't hit this 6K time, you're cut.
He told me that I would only have one more opportunity and take what ended up being 20 to 30 seconds off of my current 6K time.
And really put the pin on the board so high.
That's a big chunk. That's like asking a marathoner to shave 30 minutes off their time.
She said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, and spent the next year just absolutely grinding herself to a pulp
129, that's you, Moose.
So that September rolled around and I showed up and I sat down on the machine and my coach put a folding chair down directly behind me.
And Meg, being Meg, put her full self into it.
And then like beating the time standard by like a minute and then being one of the fastest person on the team on the erg.
I knew how much work I had put in that summer, and to actually see that payoff was incredibly rewarding. I went from failing to make the team 3 times to being a member of what would become one of the winningest dynasties in women's rowing.
The Americans are golden once again in the 8.
An 11-year dynasty that netted 8 world championships and 2 consecutive Olympic golds.
Winning an Olympic gold medal is an indescribable feeling. The relief, the elation. I've only experienced that level of happiness once before, and when it was at my wedding.
And this Team USA Women's 8 is something sensational. The dynasty continues.
Everybody asks me, oh, was the second one less exciting? No, it's a different group of people. It's just as amazing as the first one. To me, winning an Olympic gold medal never gets old.
Overheads, ready, up.
After winning back-to-back golds, I went into Tokyo thinking that it was going to be my last Olympics.
The gold to Canada. Team USA's run of gold ends in Tokyo with a 4th place finish.
You can't even phrase it like what it is like after winning gold to not win. For me personally, it was obviously very disappointing. I felt, if I'm being completely honest, inadequate. Like I wasn't good enough.
I think everyone in the boat can say we underperformed, that we think we could have medaled.
Tokyo was hard. It was hard for me. It was hard for my teammates who've never competed at an Olympics before.
You go into a race together and you come out of a race together as one boat, and she's always stuck by that, and that's something that I've always been grateful beyond words for.
After the highs and lows of competing in 3 consecutive Olympic Games, Meghan decided it was time to hang up the oars. She married rowing coach Skip Kilt, moved to California, and embarked on a new life outside the boat.
I was just adjusting to what it was like to not have rowing. I had been rowing since my freshman year of college, and I didn't really know what kind of my purpose was, or what I wanted to do, or what I should do. And I would say it was challenging given that my husband was a rowing coach, because rowing was still a great big part of our life. Sure enough, I was convinced to get back in a boat with one of my good friends and start rowing again, just for fun.
So, just for fun, Meghan and Aussie gold medalist Jess Morrison went to the UK to row in the sport's most prestigious event, the Henley Royal Regatta.
And over the line they go. It's a win for the experienced pair there of Musnicki and Morrison.
She comes back, wins Henley, yeah.
She may say that she hadn't planned on it, but I think we all saw it coming.
A retired individual does not work this hard. So we all knew probably before she did that she would be making a comeback.
We won Henley, and that was when the seed was planted again, where I was like, I wonder if I could do this one more time. When you see a boat that's moving well together, it's almost hypnotic, the rhythm of it. It looks effortless. But I can tell you, it is not effortless. Rowing hurts. What we do is incredibly uncomfortable.
Step into it, good, 131 with Moose.
The best way I can describe it is to go outside, lace up your running shoes, and run as fast as you possibly can for 6 minutes. And don't slow down. And in fact, get a little bit faster when you go to the end. Rowing's an interesting sport because you compete against the athletes that you're going to eventually compete with. I want to beat as many of these athletes as I can. My teammates want to beat me.
How far can we take this, USA?
But at the end of it all, we're going to compete together to basically take on the world.
During this process, obviously you have to have hard conversations and you have to have easy conversations. The hard conversations are the ones where you're informing someone that their process is no longer continuing, and the easy conversations are the ones where you get to allow a dream to become reality.
I am back in Princeton, New Jersey, training out of the Casperson Boathouse. I thought it was supposed to rain like on and off, but nothing heavy. And there is a group of 12 of us that are going to be in the 8 or the 4 that will compete in Paris. Husband, is it raining? No. Oh, it's raining here. He's in Italy with the men's double. It's easy to be excited, right? Like you're very happy and you're very excited, but at the same time, like your friends, some of your friends don't make it. It's a very real, sobering reality. We're talking it can be tenths of a second that separates whether you're going to the Olympics or you're not. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I already gave Skip the guilt trip about it. I was like, all the girls are doing the Corning half marathon. I really want to, but I gotta see if I'm gonna be on the East Coast. Yeah, I'm 41 and the oldest US rower to ever compete at the Olympics. I don't feel that old, I guess. The women around me keep me super youthful. Then do I not come home for the Charles? Then do I not come home for the All Sports? Then do I not, like, the fact of the matter is we live on the wrong coast. I love training day in and day out with a group of women that just are driven to achieve this goal. I just need a private jet. How's Taylor do it? I gotta have the same amount of medals as Lindsey Vonn. She flies around on a private jet. So being back in Princeton actually is super quote unquote normal for me. I lived in Princeton on and off basically since 2008. So it really is my home away from home. I'm home. My host family are the Clockenbrinks.
Good luck.
Thank you. My host mom is Kathy and my host dad is Tony, and I have 3 host sisters. They adopted a 6-foot blonde in 2010 and she never left. Did you think I was going to be here for 14 years?
No.
They are 110% a second family to me.
What were your thoughts about living in a house with 3 daughters and dogs and?
My first thought was that you're all very small. You can find pretty much anything you want in here. Lemon cream pie. Kathy makes an amazing lemon cream pie. I think someone thinks they were hiding it from me in this drawer, but don't think I don't know that it's here.
Kathy and I have had this discussion. We think it's great for you to be in the house to almost force you to not think about rowing, to do a puzzle.
Do my puzzles.
But why can't we cheat and look at the cover?
First, she's having us not put together the frame. Now we have to not look at the picture. When do you leave again? No, I just...
If there was any doubt, Meg, that you were not the 4th daughter, I think this conversation is...
It's true.
They see the work that you have to put into this, but they also recognize that, hey, you growing up had the same hurdles. It was a great gift for the kids.
It's real. Another spot I frequent, the outdoor grilling area. I messed up, I forgot to put the cover back on. Dads never like it when you forget to put the cover on. Obviously, you guys are like parents to me, especially since I lost my dad. I mean, I've been here since 2010, so you're like a father figure to me. And I remember talking to Skip, and then I told Kathy and the girls first. Tony, our host dad, actually got ordained and married my husband, Skip, and I. I remember asking you, and we were at the dinner table, actually, this table, and you were kind of like, really? He's like, you're serious? And I was like, oh, I'm serious. And it was a really great decision.
I was so flattered that you would ask and then look like the Hobbit at the altar.
It's just because I had heels on. I'm normally not that tall.
No, you're normally not that tall.
The support system to get me here, I mean, unbelievable. I am incredibly lucky, because you cannot achieve this in a silo. There's dozens of people that have contributed to me being able to go to my 4th Olympics.
Just like last week, we talked about, you can't wait for something to happen. You have to have control of what's happening inside of your lane. All right, let's have a good morning. Let's make each other better. When I think about Meg, her accolades in the sport of rowing speak for themselves. But I think what people don't necessarily appreciate about her is she's not just one of the greatest female rowers ever to come through the sport, she's one of the greatest athletes of all time.
I graduated college in 2005. If you had told me within the next 20 years I would compete at 4 different Olympic Games, win 2 Olympic gold medals, 5 world championships, no way, but here I am.
This will be my first games, so in a lot of ways I would say I'm relying on her for a lot. I think she has incredibly high standards, which I appreciate.
It's a standard that I'm unwilling to waver on. You are in control of your output and your intention, and you always need to take control of that, to own that.
Number 4, let's bring it up.
So it makes it easy for me to know that you have someone out there that appreciates, understands, knows what the standard is, and is going to hold other people accountable to that.
I got to sit 6 feet behind Meg in Tokyo, and so I'm excited to once again get to race with her, engine room, setting a stick rhythm.
We focus on the practice. We focus on the stroke that we're taking to make ourselves better, to set ourselves up to have a great race that will put us on the podium. Not many people get to go to the Olympics once or twice, let alone 4 times. For an athlete, it's kind of like a dream come true. I am trying really hard to enjoy the process because it's going to be over really soon, and I want to have memories from each one of the 4 years that I can look back on and that just make me smile. Is it my last Olympics? Yeah, for sure. Definitely my last Olympics, I think.
At 22, CJ Nickolas is USA's brightest star in the sport of Taekwondo. Ranked number 2 in the world, he has his sights set on gold this summer in Paris.
Woo! It's Friday, yeah?
It's Friday.
You training tomorrow?
No.
Well, let's go then.
We train here 5 days a week, 4 to 6 hours a day.
That was the fastest slow lift I've ever seen.
I always tell people I'm at work, they're like, oh, what do you do for work? And I'm like, I kick people.
He's probably the most explosive Taekwondo athlete in the sport today.
I think CJ is like a generational athlete, and I think what he's doing is starting to translate into the ring.
When I'm training with CJ, everything is like boom, boom, like to the point, intense, and I feel like that's how it has to be.
The game is becoming so much more dynamic, and the people that are more athletic and the ones that can go longer and the ones that are more persistent with what they're doing, they're the ones that are winning matches now. I've worked this hard for as long as I remember. The work ethic that I feel inside of my heart is the same from when I was a child.
CJ's journey began nearly 20 years ago in San Francisco, with a single mom looking for a family activity.
I started Taekwondo when I was 3 years old. I was a big fan of the Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. So she signed me up for Taekwondo classes, and it was me, my mom, my sister, and my aunt.
And within 2 years' time, the head of the Taekwondo school became more than just an instructor.
My mom wasn't a big fan of it at first, but she quickly got into it. And as fate would have it, she fell in love with the instructor of the Taekwondo school, and they got married. Yeah, we were a big, happy Taekwondo family. Their marriage only lasted about a year or so, but they were better as friends, and he really enjoyed having us in his life, and so he stayed my dad. He'd pick me up from school and I'd go straight to the Taekwondo school and spend hours there, and I would train, and I just felt like I was spending time with my family. I was a sponge for all of the information that he had for me because I saw him as this grand figure, and I saw him as someone that I wanted to be.
So under his dad's tutelage, CJ advanced quickly in the sport, winning competition after competition, with hopes one day of competing at the highest level.
An important place for me, just because a lot of my time is spent with people that aren't like me. Sometimes I don't feel like I fit in with my own people, but I always feel at home in a barbershop. There's a sense of comfort coming here and seeing everybody that looks like me, you know. Like when I was growing up, I had two guys, CJ Curry and Terrence Jennings. They're two black athletes that were just running the game. And so now I'm seeing the opposite where there's little kids, little black boys looking at me fight. Whatever impact I'll have on them is gonna be hopefully extraordinary. For the people that look like me to bring the swag back to the game, you know? We can make it for us. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm making it for me. Taekwondo is a really easy sport to follow. We do 3 2-minute rounds, and this is how you score. The first way is a punch to the body. That's scored by the judges on the outside. That's 1 point. Now into the kicking stuff. The 2-pointers, boom, boom. Anything that you score with the top of your foot, the bottom of your foot, any of that, 2 points, right? Any headshot that you score is gonna be a 3-pointer. Boom, going through, boom, right? If you touch the head with your foot, that's 3 points. A spinning technique to the body is gonna be 4 points. So if I get in here, boom, boom, boom. And then the most value that you could get in Taekwondo is a 5-point shot, and that's a spinning kick to the head, right? And here, boy cha, damn. My bad. My bad. The most exciting stuff in the game, you get the most points for.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a caged beast, but now I'm free? How can you blame me? I was born for this, the game chose me.
Grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, surrounded by my family. I spent so much time with them and I didn't realize that it was gonna get cut short so fast when I moved out to start training. Hey, Mommy. Not great. I missed them so much and I've missed so much time with them, and that's the biggest sacrifice that I've made. I love my mommy. She's honestly my rock. I talk to her most, if not every day.
And you're gonna have those days, but you have to be kind to yourself.
Like, she always says the right thing to me to make me feel better about the situation.
And tomorrow's gonna be a brand new day.
And while the road to the Olympics is filled with sacrifice, CJ is not alone.
CJ's like my brother. He's always been there for me. When I came in the program, I was 14, and so I've kind of gotten to grow up with him.
Entertaining, non-stop. He's on overdrive a lot of the time when we're traveling.
Having that type of connection with somebody that is the extension of your eyes on the side of the ring, you really need to be able to trust them, and I feel like we've built a strong trust.
Great minds think alike, and ours are great.
Either rise or you fall. I'm on a mission, bringing my dreams to fruition.
Let me look dead into the camera when I say that I am going to win the gold medal at the Olympics. I'm walking away with a gold medal.
I really think he can do it. We'll end up fighting on the same day at the Olympics. And so like literally just thinking about that like gives me goosebumps.
I'm not trying to say this because like he's like my brother to me. I truly believe this. As long as he's himself, he's gonna do great.
The top 6 could win the Olympic Games. It is going to come down to, you know, those 1% changes. Scoring easy. And then who holds their composure the best in those moments of pressure.
I'm absolutely going to do everything possible to win this tournament. But I'm also going to enjoy myself along the way. And if it doesn't go my way, then, you know, I'm still me. I'm still great, you know. My mom taught me that.